to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. The ODM party leadership skipped and boycotted President William Ruto's invite on Tuesday. And this is the exclusive story covered in this Nation article on this Friday. Why ODM top brass boycotted Ruto's Statehouse meeting. Of course, this is a story that has been developing for quite some time, and the ODM Supremo, Sifuna, Abdul Swamad, Simbarati, Odour, amongst others, did not make it to Statehouse as was planned, and we're going to explain in this podcast why, what happened, and really why the broad-based agenda is fumbling at the moment. And I realize it will continue to fumble. If you're watching this podcast and you've not yet subscribed to our channel, here we do in-depth political analysis that you cannot match with others. So subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell and like our videos. And we are reaching out to Team UK. Yeah, we have quite a number of viewers, unique viewers, people who come to watch for the first time. Then I realize you've not subscribed. So if you're a first timer or a returning viewer from UK, mko wengi sana, kindly subscribe to our channel. I wanted to get the gist of this newspaper. Let me just read the first article on this, the first paragraph of this. A quiet revolt unfolded in the Orange Democratic Movement when senior party officials boycotted a State House meeting convened by President William Ruto for newly elected broad-based lawmakers, leaving party leader Oburu Oginga to attend the meeting alone. So what happened? I think I wanted to get here. On Tuesday morning, the ODM party, there was an event at Chungwa House. This event was some prayer session, probably just getting the blessings of the party. And it was the coming together of all the ODM winners of the by-elections. That was Harrison Kombe from Magarini, Boyd Were from Kasipul, and Moses from Ugenya. They all convened at the party headquarters. The same day, they were supposed to be sworn in the afternoon. And at this event, there was a statement from Oburu Dinga that I want us to probably get here.
They are going to succeed next time. So this is to congratulate all our people of the community of ODM. We are very happy. We are a very proud party because where we feel that our candidates for parliamentary seats, we succeeded in all of them. Where our partners, the UDA, also fielded their candidates for parliamentary seats, they also succeeded. So this broad-based arrangement succeeded in all the parliamentary seats that were there up for grabbing. But this is not a time for us to sleep. This is a time for us to work. This is a time for us to deliver. This is a time for us to strengthen our party. Our party, ODM, must remain strong. ODM is a party, is a national party. It is not a party for any particular area. It is a party for the whole of Kenya. It is a party for the unity of Kenya, and it is a party which is for the future of the country. And you can see the people who have been elected, who have appeared before you here, are Gen Zs like me. So our party must be made strong, and I want you, members of ODM, to be proud. You should be proud, but we should work hard, because if we don't work hard and make our party strong, we are going to be taken for granted. And we don't want to be taken for granted, because we are a party with a vision. We are a party with a mission, and we cannot fail to work for our people. We want to continue to work for our people. We are in the arrangement of broad-based arrangement where we have 10-point agenda which we want to see implemented fully before 2027 elections. So this is what we stand for, and thank you very much.
And in the first time, when Oburu Dinga is alone, when he is with the president, he seemed to tell the president we'll work together. And you'll understand that when he is around the ODM party officials, he seems to be very cagey and responding to the issue of the 10-point agenda. While this meeting was happening, something mischievous, while this meeting was convened, first I need to make some observations from this meeting, that all the party officials were present. Arati, Osotsi, and Abdul Swamad all are the deputy party leaders of the party, Edwin Sifuna, the secretary general, and one important person was missing there, Gladys Nyasuna Wanga. Gladys Wanga is the chairperson of the party. However, it is also understood that she was not feeling well. That is what we've been made to understand, that she's been on some sick leave for some time, of course, after the by-election. And you realize that throughout, despite of her campaigning strongly for Boyd Were and the ODM candidates, at this important occasion, she was not present there. But all the other party officials were there. Now you'll understand this is what happened. One of personal assistants of the president called the ODM candidates in person. He reached out to those candidates and invited them to Statehouse. So after he invented ODM asubuhi, all of them were supposed to converge in Statehouse to meet the president. Now, you know what was the objective? The objective of Statehouse, the objective of the Statehouse meeting was to parade all, because the ODM candidates were invited, and also the other were DCP, were UDA, the were Mudende and the Malava guy. They were all invited in Statehouse, and the president was supposed to parade a joint photo with all those candidates. But this, and specifically the ODM fellows, asked the party leader, or rather informed the party leader about this meeting. So when people were in Orange House, the ODM leaders, the deputy party leaders, all were present, and they were told about that. Now, after wale candidates waliambia Oburu Odinga about the Statehouse meeting, Statehouse now dispatched formal invitations the very day on Tuesday. Now, I want you to understand the problem here. Ordinarily, what ought to have happened is because the candidates are supposed to be there, now the ODM leadership, State House would have communicated to the ODM leadership directly before going through the candidates. And a crisis meeting was convened, and all the party officials chose to boycott the State House meeting. So they didn't go, except later on, after probably the intelligence realized that the president was going to face some hurdles, na ingekuwa aibu sana, because the plan was waende na the whole ODM team to State House. Wale ODM wakakataa, wakasema we cannot be invited hivyo bila wale wengine not informed, and they fell disrespect. So I just want us to get this so that I don't say my own words. This is what is here. According to an ODM official who attended the morning meeting at Chungwa House, State House contacted the new MPs directly, bypassing the party leadership before later sending a formal invitation only after the lawmakers alerted the ODM chief, who is also the SIA senator. Sources familiar with the internal deliberations say the decision by the ODM top brass to skip the State House meeting was triggered by what the party viewed as procedural insult. ODM decided that they were not going for that because they cited procedural insult. And what we later saw is Oburu Odinga going to State House alone. So why did Oburu Odinga go alone? Because one of the president's handlers now reached out to Oburu Odinga privately, and Wanga, whose candidate had also won, Moses Omondi, was also reached out, and they tried a last-minute deliberation to convince the party leadership to meet the president in State House, but they had all boycotted. Even Abdul Swamad Nasir was in parliament in the afternoon when the ODM, when the new ODM lawmakers were being sworn in. So he was in State House. Osoti was saying he had some prayer commitments, and of course Sifuna would be the last person to go, because according to Sifuna, it was not right for ODM to appear as if they are under UDA or their party leader is UDA, because they felt, just like the party leader of ODM party is Oburu Odinga, and he's received the new recruits, the new ODM MPs, the president, who is the party leader of ODM, of UDA, just needed to handle his UDA house alone. But there is an attempt, and this is what the ODM party must be very careful about. There is an attempt to make the president, there is an attempt to project president as the leader of all these other parties, ODM and UDA. The independence of that party is not very important, and you'll even wonder that, and there is that projection that was to be done. I'm very sure there was nothing serious that was coming from that meeting. It was just for the photo optics, so that State House will get footages and go and tell the country the way broad-based is together, this and that. You will understand. Because Oburu Odinga was alone, even the president never posted. The president's social media team never posted about the said meeting, and the only people who posted it, Nikina Dennis Situmbi. That is how that State House meeting never happened. Amidst all this, there was a simmering backlash that was happening. Gladys Wanga is uncomfortable by the fact that PS Raymond Omolo is engineering protest against her in Luo Nyanza counties, and that is why she's also very uncomfortable with President Ruto on that. And ODM decided to keep off from the Statehouse meeting. I have one thing I understand is that the Ruto, okay, the ODM UDA matrix, or rather that bromance seems to be wobbling, and I foresee it will continue to wobble. It will continue to wobble, and I want to tell you why. There is a big supremacy battle between these two camps of broad-based. There is the Raila, Johnny come late, broad-based, and then there is the Ruto axis, the early risers, the people who went in with Ruto before. These two camps are not together. And it is not the enmity, or rather, them not being together is not by default. I tend to think it is by design. And it will continue to wobble. And let me just tell you what exactly is causing it. There is some projects that happened in Nyanza, and as to be specific, Homa Bay. And the other team that went to Ruto before Kina Raila feel that it is them that have brought development, and they are using P.S. Somolo as the person to be credited for the development that has happened in Nyanza. That group outshines the Raila broad-based team, who would want in 2027 to probably pick some one or two things and say that if they stick with William Ruto, then they will say this and that is what William Ruto has done because of broad-based. Those two camps are not together. And this is it. The political competition is very hot in 2027. And I think the Raila team are realizing that they might be outpaced by the other fellows. And now, kila mtu anaangalia which one can work. So you will understand, even in Kisii, Governor Rati is in ODM, but is very cautious on how he's navigating the Kisii political space because of the presence of Matiang'i. The second factor why that ODM UDA chemistry seems to wobble is because of Oburu Oginga appears to have been boxed. And it is a bit more predictable if people doubted his capacity or his legitimacy. And amidst that doubt, Ruto seemed to have boxed him. And what's happening for political positioning, for people to get to their positions, they are thinking, it can be fashionable, or it can be politically convenient, or let me use the right word, it might be popular if probably they rebel against Oburu. And that is if, and I think Oburu must read the trap. If he goes there supporting Ruto, this, Ruto, that, rebellion against Oburu Odinga, and by large, Oginga family, might be the new politics. This thing, this ODM UDA, is coming out because of one thing. ODM is supposed to support Kenya Kwanza. However, those who are with the president are already being profiled. They're already being told they are blackmailing the president. president to support them for 2027. Those who want it, according to the president's handlers, ODM should not come with demands. ODM should not say their bare minimum. ODM should just come as they are at the president's mercies. And that is a breakpoint. And lastly, the by-elections has shown the party one thing we've always been saying, that you don't need the Kenya Kwanza influence to win those seats, or rather to have a strong ODM. What was sold in Magarini, Kasipul, and Ugenya was not the broad-based shenanigan. It was the strong ODM party. And they're realizing that probably mixing up things might not be the right option. And this is a direct message telling the president that, look here, we are not at the state masses and we are independent thinkers. We are not going to move into that direction. Someone pulled it. And it is a big message, I think. So, thank you.